I don't believe that for this video it typically needs an intro, to be honest. Um so this is covering where I've been for like the past few days. Um sort of what I've been doing for the past few days. Well, much of a week nonetheless. Um so everything began on Sunday of last week, which was the 14th, I believe. Um, this is when it first caught my attention, or when it first started emerging, or we started taking notice. So as you are aware, I do have a daughter. Um, she just turned a year on the 11th. Um, but Sunday afternoon she started to feel a little hot, more hot than usual, and her mood slightly changed um as she was just sitting on my bed, or I would bring her out here to sit on my desk because she loves sitting on my desk, looking at the monitors, playing with my keyboard, different stuff like that, the different figures I have on my desk as well. And I would see her sitting down and staring or looking, and she would say nothing. I would call her name, she would just look at me. That's how I officially knew something was off and something wasn't right. When I call her, she's at the age now where she has grasped the concept of what her name is and will acknowledge whenever her name is said or called. And usually when I say her name, she's happy, she's delighted, because she knows for a fact most likely it's one of her parents that are calling her. And then she may get picked up, she may get food, may get something to drink, anything else like that. Or she may get taken somewhere fun. But I called her and she just looked at me. And she just had the facial expression that I have when I look at people, and it's just like, oh, you do realize you just said something, some stupid ass shit to me. So I'm just not gonna acknowledge it. I'm gonna just stare at you like you're stupid until you decide to make sense. And so I told her mom, we took her in the back, and um we called Kaiser, did whatever. We took her temperature, and her temperature was spiked up to 102.99 or 102.98. Um so after we called Kaiser, we got all the information, everything else like that. We officially made her appointment, and she hadn't been acting right the Monday, acting right the Tuesday. And when I say acting right, I mean as though we're performing um her normal actions, to where she's just, a happy baby or whatever. And how I definitely knew something was off is because in the mornings, I mean not in the mornings, Late, well, technically it is the morning. Late in the mornings, I wouldn't usually go to bed until like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock because I do YouTube. I'm also managing Twitch more. I would say a lot better than what I usually did. Um, I'm getting the hang of managing YouTube, but my body grew accustomed to that schedule over time. Um, and she knows that her dad doesn't come in the room um and sleep until late, like when she's getting ready to get up, cause mischief, and do everything else. And so what I would do is I would go in the room and I would shake her or rock her or push her on the floor, and that would wake her up. By the way, we do have carpet. And push her on the floor or sat her on the floor, she would immediately get up because she already knows she doesn't fall asleep on carpet. I don't think she even feels natural enough with the carpet yet or got accustomed to the carpet just yet. She may sit on the carpet, yes, but she doesn't lay on the carpet. She doesn't let like her face being on the carpet. And so, usually once her face touches the carpet, she immediately knows, all right, this is not where I usually lay my head at. This is uncharted territory. Get me the fuck out right now. I want to go back and get on the bed. And usually she would fight me or she would nitpick with me. Not me picking with her. She would pick back with me and try to hit me, do whatever, but then smile in the end and then crawl out in the living room and follow me because she knows maybe she'll get a snack or something and she'll watch TV on one of my other monitors. She didn't do that. She laid on the carpet where I put her and that immediately set something off in me. It was just like, I know this isn't her usual patterns. This isn't her usual habit. So Wednesday does end up coming and rolling around, and I take her to Kaiser. Me and her mom, we take her to Kaiser, and she gets evaluated by her pediatrician. Um, and they draw blood as well. She goes through a blood test as well to make sure nothing's wrong with her physically. We don't go down, see the results for it. And they messed up or did whatever. So we ended up going home and they said the blood test would be back to us in another day or two. So Thursday skips today, and then Friday happens where the blood test and everything else comes back. And we come to find out that her glucose levels were low and that she has an elevated white blood cell count, which leads them into telling us something that we didn't want to hear. and that my baby, my daughter, is anemic. And when Kaiser told me that on the phone, I didn't show any emotion, but inside, I immediately broke down. But shortly after we found out she was anemic, it was recommended that we do take her to the emergency room for better evaluation and better blood testing, just to find out what exactly happened or what was happening within her body. And so we did, and she had the blood test when she got admitted in the emergency room, and they found that, thank God, her levels were actually normal. Um but they did find that her blood cell count was a little elevated. And so they ended up admitting her into Children's Hospital. And that's where I ended up spending my week. But it wasn't so much as because that was an issue, because that could obviously be solved. Because if your sugar levels are low, you can just eat any little thing, and then your sugar can spike back up or spike through the roof. And the reason she was admitted was because when she was born, her weight was normal. I can't remember what the weight was. It's never the dad's job to remember exactly what the weight is, but it's more so the dad's job just to make sure that her and her mom are safe. They have what they need, some of what they want. But after we got her weight back, everything was normal, natural birth, full term, everything. It wasn't until last week that, or the week before last, that she started going and her weight started declining. And it kept going down and going down until we went to Children's as well for that. And they weighed her in Children's. Her weight is definitely going down. And we need to find out why. So they admitted her and kept her. And throughout the course of me being there on the 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, her weight drastically, I wouldn't say fluctuated, because it only went up like maybe 2 times out of the 5 days, but her weight just kept going down and down. But her eating patterns never changed. Um, the way she did certain things never changed. So what she started to do was that she started drinking Pediasure, or that was recommended to her to start drinking. Maybe that would help with some of the weight loss. And at some points it did, and at some points it didn't. But we started using Pediasure, so that's something that I definitely will keep up on and make sure that I do get. And now that we are home, I can say that We got home yesterday around, we were discharged at around 5:30, got home around 6:30, almost 7. But now that we're home, I can actually and finally say that this was one of the most tragic and one of the most death defying experiences of my life. You would never think that it could happen to your own child. And I know I am a bit young. I'm only 23. Um but I can say with certainty that you never expect anything to happen until it's actually happened to you or it's happened to someone that you care about.